An uncanny attachment. Mashobra is a small hamlet about 13 kilometers from famous Himalayan town of Shimla. An hour's drive from there through a winding, twisting, narrow mountainous road through a landscape of sheer virgin beauty. With the coming up of a lot of hotels, guest houses and resorts, it has become quite a crowded place today. Once this was no more than a peaceful little village situated in the middle of a thick forest, stark and glorious. Mashobra is my birthplace, despite the fact that I spent only the first year of my life here. I have a special attachment to it, the lonely hills supporting a dense coniferous forest, the lush undergrowth, the exotic Himalayan birds, the glorious sunrise and sunset. They all hold a magical attraction for me. I love the intense mystical silence that gets interrupted only by the tweets of the birds or by the chanting monkeys fighting into true battles. And when the wind blows through the bush, it creates its own music, intensely haunting and hypnotizing. This pristine forest is time-worn. Many of these luxuriant deodars, pines, junipers, and oaks standing tall on these slopes have witnessed several generations come and go. They are mute witnesses to epochs of the known and the unknown history. Mystery is concealed in every nook and corner of these mesmerizing hills. I remember one episode from the time I was a little schoolgirl. I had gone with Pa to Mashobra, where he was presiding over a seminar at the Gram Sevak Training Center. His seminar had continued unendingly, leaving me bored and hungry. Our driver, Santram, offered to take me for crispy hot pakoras to a dhaba at Talai, about a kilometer away. I jumped at the tempting proposal. An almost flat, undulating patch of the grassland that steadily rose up into a hillock to the south and subsided into a gradual valley to the north. Talai was a very alluring playground. I chased butterfly around a small, insignificant pond of green, thick scum of moss, while hot pakoras were being freshly fried for me at the dhaba. Once we sat down to eat, Santram informed me, "You know, baby J, this entire area acquires its name from the humble pool Talai." Oh, my eyes roved around to unearth more mysteries. I then spotted a large mansion hidden behind a thick cluster of the trees at the top of the hillock. Who lives in that house, Santram? That's the Fairytale estate owned by the Raja of Fairytale. Fairytale is in Punjab. Visible from the dhaba was also a dilapidated house. Why is that house so broken and worn out? No one lives there, I asked, enjoying a hot pakora dipped in yummy turmeric chutney. Oh, baby J, it is supposed to be a bhutiya bangla, a haunted house. I stopped munching. My interest in a ghost made me forget how famished I was. I eyed the house in an entirely new perspective. Curiosity and fear were two strong contenders in my young mind, producing goose pimples all over my little body, but I allowed my curiosity to override. Hesitating a little, I asked, "Really? Tell me about it." Santram was quiet for a few seconds. He must have been making up his mind whether to tell me the story. There had been a terrible fire here long ago. I watched the dhaba owner nod spiritedly. His upheld opinion added more flavor to the story. I now noticed the blackened stone structure and the frameless windows and doors. Whatever had survived the assault of fire and time. Santram elaborated. The fire broke out at night. The lady living alone in it was fast asleep and was burnt alive. Some think the fire was started deliberately, a sabotage. It is believed that her spirit still lives in the house. Who was the lady? Didn't she have children? No, no children. She was very close to the Raja, his special friend, girlfriend. He had given her this house. Santram explained with a meaningful smile. He thought I wouldn't understand, but I had instantly perceived what he meant, the way he exchanged glances with the dhaba owner. But no one dares to touch the house. People who tried had bad experiences when they began removing the wreckage. What bad experiences, Santram? I insisted. It would be a nice ghost story to tell to my friends. They fell ill and had nightmares in which a woman told them to leave her house alone, etc., etc. Santram's pursed lips and enlarged eyes unnerved me, which he didn't notice. No one dares to repair or live in that house despite it being located at a very prime site. All of a sudden, it occurred to me that the ghost was perhaps watching me from the ruins. My little body shivered. I hurriedly gobbled the leftover pakoras. Sant Ram, please take me back to Pa. The house, seemingly right out of a horror story, had begun to frighten me. Much later, when I was a young college girl, I came to know about a creepier supernatural incident that had transpired here in Mashobra many years ago with someone very close to my family. It happened before I was born. In 1952, at the behest of the government at New Delhi, a Gram Sevak training center came up at Mashobra and Pa was appointed its first principal. My family lived on the first floor of the main building. Its ground floor had the administrative offices, the lecture rooms and the auditorium were housed in an adjacent building. The students' hostel and the staff quarters were about a kilometer walk down the hill near the famous Scouts Garden. The student and staff community wasn't a large one. There were about 20 students and 6 members of the teaching faculty. Only one of the lecturers, Raj Vaidya, was married. It was mid-January evening of the year 1953. Dark clouds had descended like a gigantic rolling ocean in the sky. It had been snowing non-stop for the past 2 days. 2 feet of frozen vapor covered the landscape, hiding all colors under its white cape. The bitter cold had restrained folks inside their homes. The students and the teaching staff of the center were away on 2 months long winter break only. My family and some of the administrative staff had remained behind at the center. The deserted expanse was even more desolate now and overwhelmingly silent. It was well after dinner time. My parents were in the sitting room, warming their feet in the dying fire at the fireplace and exchanging notes on the day's events before retiring for the night. They were jolted out of their reverie by a loud knock on the door. I wonder who has come at this time. Pa got up from his chair to check on the unexpected caller. When the door was opened, in breezed a draught of chilled wind and center's compounder, Krishnan Das Negi, wrapped in a blanket over his khadi coat, pusheri cap and a home-knit woolen muffler. He stood shivering with a worried frown creasing his brow. Pa quickly shut the door. What brings you here at this time, Krishan? Krishan rubbed his ice-cold hands. Sir, Hari Ram is running very high fever for the past 2 days and it's showing no signs of subsiding. I have been giving him paracetamol tablet for every 2 hours since yesterday, but it hasn't made any difference to his fever. There is no cough, no running nose. Hari Ram was the peon at the center. Stomach infection? Pa asked. No sir, no diarrhea, no vomiting. He's complaining of a severe headache though. I fed him half a slice of bread and a half cup of tea with great difficulty. He hasn't eaten anything else the entire day. I don't know what is wrong with him. I checked his temperature before coming to you. It was 105 Fahrenheit. Since the evening he has also been blabbering coherently. He's very serious sir. He needs to see a doctor. We must admit him to a hospital immediately. Pa shook his head worriedly. It is too late now, sir. Driver Pitambar has left and his house is 3 kilometers away. There is no way we can take Hariram to hospital now. Oh, not much can be done immediately in this bad weather. Keep cold compresses on his forehead and try to keep his fever down. If his condition doesn't improve by morning, go and fetch Pitambaram from his house and take him to Shimla to Snowdon Hospital. Krishan appeared dismayed. It wouldn't be easy to plod through mounds of snow early in the morning in the bitter cold, especially if he was going to be looking after the patient the entire night. Pitambar should be reporting on duty around 9, sir. Even if I leave at 7 to call him, we can't be back before 9. You forget, Krishan. Tomorrow is Sunday. Pitambar will not be coming. Go as early as you can. Let's not take chances. Oh, yes, sir. I will leave as soon as I can. And Krishan once again retreated into the dark, cold night. There was no improvement in the weather conditions the next morning. It was dark, cold and blustery day. Around 9 there were noises of hectic activity outside. The frozen engine of the jeep took consistent effort and warm water to come to life. Kishan and Pitambar brought Hariram on a chair and lifted him into the jeep. He had lost tremendous weight in just a few days and looked so pale that Pa was taken aback. A strange abnormal look in his eyes was frightening. Despite his condition, he he threw a weak smile at Pa. "You'll be fine, Hariram," Pa assured him. "Be strong." Hariram nodded faintly. "I'll be back soon," he whispered. Pa stroked his head. "Of course you will be." Before they left, Pa gave Krishan strict instructions. "Call me as soon as you reach the hospital. I will speak with the doctor on duty." Though he personally knew a few doctors at the hospital, he also knew that it being Sunday, not many doctors would be available at the hospital except the ones on emergency duty. "I am worried about Hariram's health," Pa later expressed to Ma. "He looked so ghostly pale. I wonder what's wrong with him." Then he added, "Hope the doctor on duty is efficient." By lunchtime, there was still no news of the sick man. If everything went well, they should have reached the hospital by 10:30, maybe 11, even if they went slowly. Pa eyed the telephone. "I had specifically asked Kishan to call me. Why hasn't he?" His restlessness made Ma concerned for him. "Why don't you call the hospital?" She paused. "I have tried the hospital reception. Can't get through." Pa shook his head. "They must have got busy looking after the patient, or maybe the telephone there is out of order. You know, it's very common in winters. Wires snag." Ma tried to put his mind at ease. The clock ticked on. There was no information about Hariram's health even by the evening. Finally, at 5 o'clock, Pa had had enough of waiting around in tension. Grabbing his overcoat, he got into his snowshoes. "Where are you going in this cold? It will be dark soon." Ma eyed him anxiously. "Where are the boys? I have to go and check." "You can't walk till the hospital, 10 miles away in the snow." Ma expressed her apprehension. "No, I'm not going to the hospital, of course not. We'll just walk till Talai. I need some exercise." Ma nodded. A short walk would do him good, ease him out a little. She prayed for Hariram's health as she stood at the window watching Pa go through the snow. He had been away for barely 15 minutes when Ma rushed out on hearing the sound of an approaching vehicle. It was the center's jeep, as she had expected. Pa alighted from it. He looked pale and immensely miserable. In an instant, Ma realized that things weren't good. Pitambaram got off and rushed to help others from the back of the jeep. Krishan was next to dismount. Then both of them removed Hariram from the jeep. He was wrapped in a sheet from head to toe. "Oh my God, what happened?" Ma was shaken and upset. "Sorry, Ma'am Saab, we couldn't bring him back alive." Krishan spoke through his choked throat. Tears streamed down his cheeks. Pitambar sobbed openly. "He was such a wonderful man. Why did he have to go so early?" Ma closed her eyes and silently prayed for the departed. The handsome, cheerful face of Hariram hovered before her eyes. He was too young to die. After the initial shock, she hurried inside to her children. She wanted to keep them away from this unfortunate death. They were too tender to be exposed. It was later that the details were divulged to her. That morning, the jeep had barely covered the distance of about 4 miles when they came across a huge mound of snow completely blocking the road. It was a minor avalanche but couldn't be cleared without the help of the Public Works Department. But there was no way to deliver a message to them. A wagon driver who was stranded on the other side of the blockade agreed to return to Shimla and arranged for the required. Hariram's condition continued to deteriorate. His body went into tremors and he began to get disoriented. By and by he went silent. The men accompanying him thought he had fallen asleep. The temperature was dropping fast and the light was fading. They waited and waited for someone to arrive to clear the road. None came. When Krishan tried waking Hariram up to make him drink some tea, he realized he wasn't hot anymore. As the fever subsided, he then realized Hariram wasn't breathing. He tried reviving him, all in vain. Hariram's spirit had long gone released and his body now lay lifeless. Hariram belonged to a remote village in Thiog, Tehsil of Himachal. He had lost both his parents, however, his 2 older brothers still lived in the village with their families. Pa telephoned the agriculture inspector posted at Thiog, asking him to inform Hariram's family of the misfortune. He expected Hariram's brother to take his body to their village for the last rites. Meanwhile, the body was kept buried in snow for 2 days. When even by the 3rd day nobody reached Mashobra to claim the body, Pa sent another urgent message. The body couldn't be kept forever. This time he was told that Hariram's family was finding it difficult to travel due to the blocked roads.